Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has accused the West of still being divided over its support for his country. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Mr. Zelenskyy pointed at Hungary's opposition to the EU's proposed embargo on Russian oil and the lack of consensus over Sweden and Finland's historic bid to join NATO. The Ukrainian president says his country needs the support of a united Europe. Mr. Zelenskyy also set a condition for peace talks with Moscow. He says he is willing to talk directly to Russian leader Vladimir Putin, but Moscow must first withdraw its troops back to the lines in place before the war. On the ground, fighting continues to intensify at the crucial city of Severodonetsk. It is one of the few territories Ukrainian forces still hold in Luhansk, and its fall would give Russia near total control of the region. The governor says Russian bombs and artillery are falling on the city around the clock, and the situation is very difficult, and that the next few days are critical. Meanwhile, Russia says it's willing to allow ships carrying food to leave Ukraine, but the West has to lift sanctions on Moscow's exports and financial transactions. And for more, Kieran McKillen joins us live from Lviv, Ukraine. Kieran, any progress in lifting the blockade on Ukrainian ships carrying food?
No progress so far. I mean, you know that Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. 98% of its grain left by sea last year. And, you know, this is having a profound impact. Millions of tons of grain are now stuck in silos in Odessa. Estimates anywhere between 20 and 25 million tons right now. And the concern is that this grain could go rotten. It could just decompose in these silos unless they are able to shift it. Right now, there's estimates that less than 1 million tons per month is leaving, possibly by road, possibly by rail. And they are looking at imaginative solutions to try and to get across this blockade. One of those is by shipping some of this grain to another port to the east, to a river, and then maybe sending it by barge to this country of Romania. But I mean, that will just skim the surface of the actual amount of grain that's needed to be lifted from this country, because grain accounted for 1/5 of Ukraine's total exports last year. So you can see just how vital it is for the economy. What's making all of this really difficult on is that there are drifting mines now in the Black Sea. Russia accuses the Ukrainians of putting them there. The Ukrainians are accusing Russia of laying those mines. You know, Ukraine accounts now for about 400 million tons of food for the world, and some countries especially vulnerable right now, including Egypt. There are some very profound knock-on effects worldwide of this war.
President Zelenskyy has said that, you know, Western unity is defined by weapons provided to Ukraine. What sort of arms does Kyiv need right now, and how will they make a difference?
Well, you're seeing what's happening right now in the Donbass. You know, we've not seen this huge mechanized, grinding, artillery-based warfare since the Second World War on mainland Europe. And Russia right now has more big guns at present, but up until now they haven't had the manpower. Maybe some of that manpower has been freed up due to the fall of Mariupol. And what we are seeing is the Donbass getting pounded day in, day out. So it's very vital that the Ukrainians get some heavy weaponry down to that area to try and counter this fire that's coming in from the other side. One of the heavy pieces of artillery that has been supplied is from the United States. It's called the Howitzer M777, and it's one of the key weapons now that the Ukrainians need to get into place. It's 41% lighter than its previous model that it succeeds. It's also got a range of around 40 kilometers. Now, Ukraine's defense minister, Alexei Reznikov, said that, and back in the middle of this month, that 74 of the 90 M777 artillery pieces had been supplied down there. So these are the weaponry that really needs on the front line to counter this offensive by the Russians in the Donbass.
Many thanks for those updates. Kieran McKillen in Lviv.